Good evening and welcome to the October meeting of the Committee of Adjustments. Before we begin, I'd like to get somebody to move or call the meeting to order and move that October 1st, 2025 Committee of Adjustment meeting be called to order at 7:00 p.m. Moved by Ms. Lalonde, seconded by Ms. Kohler. All in favor? And that motion is carried. And Ms. Lalonde, please read the territorial acknowledgement.
We have gathered in Wilmot Township on the traditional territory of neutral Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Mississauga peoples. We also want to acknowledge the importance of the Dish with One Spoon Covenant, a peace agreement made between Indigenous nations before the Europeans arrived. It characterizes our collective responsibility to each other and Mother Earth. We should take only what we need, leave enough for others, and keep the dish clean. By acknowledging this covenant and the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, we are reminded of our important connection to this land where we live, learn, and work together as a community.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce our committee tonight. To my right is Mr. Miller, Ms. Kohler, Mr. Roth, and Ms. Lalonde. And with us this evening is our Cameron Miller, our planner at the Township. And my name is Tyler Bowman, chair of this committee. We are an independent body appointed by Wilmot Township Council. We have the power to make minor changes to existing zoning regulations and to approve some changes to existing non-conforming uses and to give consent. Each applicant will be notified in writing of the decision within 10 days. With the decision will be instructions on how it can be appealed. Any decision made by this committee can be appealed to the Ontario Land Tribunal, who will then hold a meeting and make a final decision. Only the applicant and certain prescribed public agencies can appeal the committee's decision. If the decision on a minor variance is not appealed, it becomes final and binding after 20 days from the date of this meeting. And if the decision on a consent is not appealed, it becomes final and binding after 20 days of the date the decision is mailed. So this evening, the format for the meeting will be as follows. Mr. Miller will introduce the application. The applicant will then be invited to come forward and may add any additional information if they choose. Following this, anyone in the audience will have the opportunity to speak for or against this application. The committee members may then question the applicant, and the committee will make a final decision. So I'd like to ask, are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest under the Municipal of Conflict of Interest Act? Seeing none, I'll invite, or our first order of business is to approve the minutes from our last meeting. Can I get somebody to move that motion? That is moved by Mr. Roth, seconded by Mr. Miller. All in favor? And that is carried. And I will invite Mr. Miller to introduce the first application for this evening.
Yes, thank you. The first application this evening is A21/25 concerning 171 Asmus Street in New Hamburg. And this application is proposing to amend several regulations for one accessory building. The subject property is developed with a single detached dwelling and a two-story detached garage, which was permitted by way of a minor variance in 2013. And the applicant is proposing to construct a second two-story garage with a storage loft and a covered deck on the second level. To proceed with this, there are several minor variances that are required. The first one deals with reducing the front yard setback from 7.6 meters to approximately 4.1 meters. And the other variances deal with an increase in the maximum allowable lot coverage, as well as increasing the maximum allowable height. So the first request again is to reduce the front yard setback. This allows the owner to utilize the existing driveway as well as shift the building as further away as possible from the Nith River to satisfy some GRCA regulations. And again, the additional requests deal with an increase to the maximum allowable height as well as the maximum allowable area of structure. And so in part, these variances are requested to deal with some area caps imposed by the Grand River Conservation Authority as the property is within a floodplain. Despite allowing an additional accessory building, all the accessory buildings would account for less than 2% of the total lot area, and the GRC had no issues with what was proposed, and we did not receive any comments from the public or concerns with what was being proposed. So staff are the opinion that the combination of the requests are minor when considering the limitations of the property, and are recommending that it be approved tonight.
Thank you. Would the applicant like to speak on behalf of the application? No? Yeah? No? Sorry. Thank you. Is there anyone else? No one online tonight? Okay. Are there any questions from the committee for the applicant? Seeing none, could I get a motion to approve this application? Moved by Ms. Lalonde, seconded by Ms. Kohler. All in favor? And that motion is carried. And I'll invite you to speak to the second application.
Yes, thank you. The next application is minor variance A22/25 concerning 2022 Huron Road. And so this application proposes several variances to amend regulations for some existing non-farm lots and as well as to amend some regulations for an additional dwelling unit. The amending of the regulations for existing farm lots is simultaneous to some other applications that are filed this evening, BO4/25 and BO5/25. Township staff are recommending later this evening that those applications be deferred until such time as some entrance location issues have been addressed, and staff are therefore of the opinion that it is premature to address a minor variance application that deals with lot area requirements for lot configurations that may not be finalized, as well as placement of an additional dwelling unit that may also be subject to change based on the potential revision of an entrance location. So township staff are therefore recommending that this application be deferred until such time as the township's infrastructure services department has confirmed that there are no issues with the entrance location as proposed in the applications later this evening.
Okay, so is the applicant available? No? Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, can I get a motion to defer this application as recommended by the township? Moved by Ms. Kohler, seconded by Mr. Miller. All in favor? And that motion is carried. I will, application 3.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to consent applications of the evening. The first one being BO3/25. This deals with 58 and 62 Catherine Street in New Hamburg. This application is rather self-explanatory. It's just simply seeking to divide ownership of a semi-detached dwelling that's been in existence since 1992, and since that time it's remained under common ownership. And again, this application is just simply seeking to divide it in half. And staff are recommending approval of the consent.
Is the applicant available? No? Committee, do we have any questions for the township? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adopt the recommendations and approve this application? Moved by Ms. Lalonde, seconded Mr. Roth. All in favor? And that motion is carried. And on to the last one of the evening.
Yes, thank you. The last two applications, BO4/25 and BO5/25, deal with two properties. One is addressed as 2022 Huron Road, and the other one is an unaddressed property referred to in the report by its PIN number. This applications together propose various lot line adjustments to reconfigure two existing non-farm lots, again known as 2022 Huron Road, and an adjacent unaddressed property which contains some accessory buildings. The 2 2022 Huron Road is a rectangular lot, and then it's surrounded by a horseshoe lot, which is the unaddressed lot. It was discovered by way of a legal opinion that the horseshoe lot was created by way of consent in the 60s, and so the owner is in possession of two legally conveyable lots, and so the purposes of these applications is simply to rearrange the lot lines to better prepare essentially what would be two rectangular lots. But in circulating the application to the Township's Infrastructure Services Department, it was determined that there's some more information needed with respect to the secondary entrance, which was once a farm lane, has since been converted to a residential access that would serve that second property. So there are some potential sightline issues that need to be addressed, which may result in there's some additional studies to demonstrate it's safe, and if it can't be demonstrated, then that either would be to relocate the access or to maybe secure a right-of-way over the existing lane. And so until these access matters are addressed, Township staff are not in a position to make a formal recommendation on these applications. And again, it's depending on the outcome of these studies, it may necessitate an alternate configuration or sharing of that existing entrance. So Township staff are recommending that these applications be deferred this evening.
Thank you, and I assume the applicant is still not available. Committee, do we have any questions for the Township? Seeing none, can I get a motion to adopt the recommendations and to defer these two applications to a later date? Can I get somebody to move that? Mr. Miller, seconded by Ms. Lalonde. All in favor? And that motion is carried. So our final order of business tonight is to adjourn our meeting. So, meeting adjourned. do I need a motion for that one? we'll move moved by Ms. Lalonde, seconded by Mr. Roth. Do you want to adjourn the meeting? Okay, Mr. Roth and Kenna, all in favor, and that is carried. And we will discuss. Do we have any applications for our next meeting?
Yes, we have at least one application, one property which will form several applications. So tentatively we would look for November, I think that's November the 5th. November the 5th.
Okay, so that seems
Everyone's
to work.
mostly available?
Yep.